guys.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. I held Jude soon after she was born. Hanane, you gave me her for the holder, and you're now a big kid. Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah, do you see where is Jude now?
Yeah. Oh, wow. But I'm looking forward to your song, guys. So.
So you get the program.
Yeah, I got the program.
Doing wrong?
Hey, how are you guys, everybody?
Very good. Doing really well.
I want to tell y'all that I went to get dates today at our corner market.
Right.
I'm in New York, and as it turns out, I thought this was the case, but I didn't really know. They are Yemeni, and they are remembering Ramadan, and of course they had dates. It was very cool. It was a moment for me to get to know all these folks. That I go in and buy things. I don't shop there a lot because, of course, normally I go to the supermarket. But this is a store that's open right on the corner, sort of a small store. And so I feel like I was joining them in their iftar also.
Oh, that's great. That's really
awesome.
Very good to hear. Yeah. Sandra, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I was.
Hey, Cassandra.
Hi, Rich.
Nice.
I was attending the Revolutionary Love Conference this weekend, so I just heard Reverend Barber preach. So
wow,
I'm fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really very good. Yeah, guys, ready? Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, and peace be upon you. And we're really delighted that you joined us virtually. In the natural circumstances, we should have you here in person, here at home, and hopefully we will go over this very soon. And we have all of you joining us here for this iftar. This year Ramadan is different than any other years, and but we are trying our best to get the benefit out of it. So in regular circumstances, I wouldn't be sitting with my family here. I will be in Washington trying to attend 3 iftars. You know how things, we call it, iftar circuit. So we'll go through, iftars in Washington. But we're so blessed actually to have you all joining us. And this is the time that, friends like you making it easy for us in this social distancing. We put together, the kids actually put together a little program for you here. It's about half an hour. We're exploring this. So this is the first time we're doing this. So let's see how it's going to work. And I look forward to get basically the evaluation of the program from Cassandra right there. I'm pretty sure she would do that for us.
I'll send everyone a survey.
I wanna begin. So I want to begin by introducing to you our youngest here, and youngest Jude Elsanousi. Jude, Rich was saying that when you were born, like only a few months, he carried. You look rich there. Where is Rich? Yeah. So Jude, you wanna begin us by reading of the Quran, of the opening Surah Al-Fatiha? Yes. Go ahead. Look there, yeah. Okay, Jude.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Malik Yawm Ad-Din Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim sirata alladhina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Amin.
Great job. So Anas will read the translation. Yeah.
The translation is, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful.
Praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee we worship, and thine aid we seek. So what's the straight way? The way of those whom thou have bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray.
Great, thank you so much for the translation. So Anas did the translation of the opening chapter in the Holy Quran. So now we wanna turn it over to the oldest guy there, Nabil. So he will talk about fasting in Islam. So Nabil, is over to you.
Fasting is very important in Islam because it is prescribed in the Quran for Muslims. It also was prescribed to the people of the book Baha'i before us. In Ramadan, Muslims fast for 30 days, and they wake up before dawn and eat a meal called suhoor, and then in the end of the day, in Maghrib prayer, sunset, they eat a meal called Iftar. And the Muslims, they think that fasting is we think that fasting is important because it is not only just a training for us just to stay away from food, but it's also training for us mentally to stay away from things that we love to do. So we don't go astray. Second of all, so we also want to, so mosques often try to focus on giving to the poor and needy during the time of Ramadan. So they host iftars, like large-scale iftars, for the people that can't afford or can't afford to eat or can't afford food for themselves.
Great. Well, thank you, Nabil. That was short and sweet. I thought we were going to do 3 minutes, huh? But that is good. Now I wanted to turn it over to Hanane there. My wife, Hanane, she will discuss how the coronavirus has impacted Ramadan. So Hanane, you have Nabil saved 2 minutes for you so you can expand.
Peace be upon you, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So special. I mean, the previous 2 days of Ramadan, we eat just the 5 of us, and this is different from every other Ramadan. I mean, this pandemic has changed not only us Muslims, but the way we worship all around the world. I mean, the social distancing, Ramadan, the big component of it is the Taraweeh prayer and also the community iftars. I do miss that, but we're trying to be positive for the whole family. So we try to focus on other aspects of the faith in addition to Ramadan. Ramadan fasting is just one component in Ramadan. It's the month where the Quran was revealed. So we do try to study Quran and, teach the kids how to memorize it. And also we focus on charity. That is something that our Prophet was really focused a lot about. And, getting together. Muhammad just mentioned the fact that he'll be running from iftar to iftar. Sometimes he has 3 a day. And we miss him in Ramadan. So for us, it's such a big joy, like to have him over, to have him with us and be able to build Ramadan together. And usually the kids are in school. So that too, I'm trying to stay positive and see it as a wonderful thing to be all together. And the kids, just like I did when I was young, their age, I remember Ramadan used to come in the summer. So we'd be home, we'll, observe the prayers, we'll see the adults rushing in the kitchen from, iftar time. So I see the kids doing, I see my childhood in my children by them observing this, and I hope they grow to appreciate all of this. To see this pandemic as a way for us to stay together, to connect with each other, and as a positive thing, rather than something that brought us all away from our masjid. And I cannot wait for things to get back to normal and for every person to get back to their own schedule and reconnect again with communities of faith. Thank you. This is so special. I really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So we do have a few minutes actually before there's an alarm. Okay. At the phone. Okay. So so tonight the break in the fast time here in the Washington area is 8 o'clock. So we have a couple of minutes before we break the fast. But anyone would like to add anything? Anis, you want to say something?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, go ahead.
As you have already heard from my brother.
But okay, go ahead, yeah. But loud, yeah.
As you have already heard from my brother Nabil, that in this month we have to give the poor and needy. So Jude and I created a charity box in the house, and each day we put money.
Where is the charity box?
It's right here.
Mommy's old.
Okay.
Sure.
So what's the good design? You created a charity box. Okay, so go ahead. Yeah.
So me and Jude created a charity box in the house, and each day we put money in the box, and we plan to share the collected amount of money with the poor and needy.
Okay. That's after 30 days or when we celebrate the Eid?
During the Eid.
During the Eid.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Eid also is different this time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so probably we need to find a different way.
Due to this coronavirus outbreak.
Okay. Yeah. So we do have 1 minute for the iftar. So we're gonna hear the call to prayer from you, Jude, in just probably 30 seconds or so. Is Anas doing it?
Yeah.
Anas will do the adhan and the translation both, right?
Yes.
So okay, so we have 30 seconds to do that. Yeah. You have to wait. Just get ready and wait. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's time.
Okay, it's time.
Okay.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah.
La ilaha. And the translation?
The translation is the Adhan
Go
translation.
for.
God is the greatest, God is the greatest. We bear witness there is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. We bear witness there is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. Come to prayer, come to prayer, come to success, come to success, come to success. God is the greatest, God is the greatest, there is no God but God.
Great. So, so this is the time we're gonna break the fast. So we're gonna just pass the dates around. Do you want to do that? Start with your mother there.
Oops.
You can give it to Nabil and then you give it to your mother. So if you do have, yeah, go ahead, Nabil.
This moment?
Yeah, yes, of course, yeah.
No, we're not.
So take the shifty box here.
Mohammed, are these your favorite dates, the hard ones or the soft ones?
No, these are the soft ones. The hard ones are there. You're
Okay.
perfect.
I love those.
They're
Those hard
numbered
ones.
there.
Yeah.
I will show you the hard one. What are the big dates? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So honestly, you have been fasting or no?
No,
Okay.
I'm just eating.
Right. Okay. So, so join us and break your fast. If you have a date, yes, take your date and let's break the fast together. And we ask God to accept our deeds and fasting. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So the hard date too. You can see the hard dates, Cassandra.
Yes. Oh,
So
those are-
yeah, so the hard dates are, I bring them from Sudan when I visit there. Yeah.
I just remember the first time I had one of those in your office.
Yeah.
I thought that they were like, they had gone wrong. There was something, I was like, I don't understand. They aren't soft and like chewy. And then you showed me how to eat them properly. And I was like, oh, okay, now I get this. And it's actually tasty.
Yeah. Great. So while we will be eating still dates and fruits and things like that, so we'll turn it over to you so you can we can have a discussion for the next 15 minutes or so to also educate us and the kids about fasting in Judaism and Islam and Christianity and different traditions, and how in this coronavirus environment as well as all of us, and you also, you know, attend all of these interfaith iftars and friends iftars and shoulder to shoulder. In particular, last year organized over 500 iftars, you know, across the country. So this is really different for us this year. So maybe we could have a discussion on that and see how we're going virtual and how we're gonna get, you know, come back, you know, offline, as people they say now.
Well, I'd just like to thank you for inviting us into your home, Mohamed. And on the reflection about the times that we're in, I got a kick out of having to wonder where Mohamed was during the the many Ramadans. And one of the blessings of the coronavirus is that I'm here living with my wife in Florida instead of being in Washington, D.C., going into the office every day. And it's amazing. I mean, we get to share meals every night, and we don't often, you know, get to do that because I'm in DC and she's here in Florida. Right. And it has really been a blessing for this time when there are very few blessings to count, frankly, in terms of what's going on in our country and in our world. So I just wanted to say that reflection that you gave really struck home with me, and all the work that we're all doing virtually. It's happening. The work is happening. Our work on prisons is happening. You know, the people are still organizing. They are still getting together, shoulder to shoulder, still bringing people together around Ramadan and our different programs. So at that level, it's almost like the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Mohamed, I had a couple of questions, and then we just came out of Passover, which is similarly a home holiday, not as long as Ramadan. But I just have two questions, if you can educate me. I'm curious if kids fast and at what age they're obligated to fast. And then you set a timer like that at 8 o'clock was when you could break it. So I'm curious if that's tied to sunset or tied to something in the sky. I don't know if you want to answer those before I share my my comparison of what we went through for Seder.
Great. Anyone would like to answer that? Kids? Anas?
Awesome.
Awesome, go ahead.
Just gotta finish chewing.
No.
He's gotta finish chewing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
The age you fast is like when you're mature enough. When you're mature enough, and when like you start the fast, it's you have to do suhoor and you have to eat it at like 4 a.m. and after that at the end at 7:53.
Yeah.
Yeah, 53. You break your fast.
No, 8 o'clock today.
8 o'clock.
And it's changing every day.
It changes. Okay.
Yeah.
It changes every day. Wow. And is the
Sunset, sunrise.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sunset. Yeah, sunset.
So it'll be a different time depending on, you know, if you're,
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's similarly, we Jews count, so that we have a calendar for sunset and sunrise.
Right.
I mean, I'll just say we came out of Passover, which was, you know, again, even though it's a home holiday that's usually meant to have many people. And actually the line is, may all who are hungry come and eat. That's how you start the Seder, by saying to people, let the stranger, the hungry, the poor. And it was, you know, it still seems so counter on the one hand. Or brisket for like 4 people as opposed to 50. On the other hand, the blessing of it, I don't know, different than Richard's, but people were able to use the technology to connect in a way that they had people at their Seders they never had before at their Seders, which was a wonderful experience. Like I've never had my husband's side and my own side at the same Seder table. And we did because we were on Zoom. We've just never been able to get the travel in place. And so that was an interesting, it was an interesting moment, but not without its challenges. Similarly.
Yeah, we had the Passover experience last year with the family at Rabbi Separatine's house. That was last year.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, it was amazing. We had Secretary of State Madeleine Albright was there and a number of people. So we had a nice Passover. And then our first Seder Passover, when Anas was, how old Anas was? We had that, he was 2 years old. And we had that at Rabbi Bert Bazaski's house in New York. So he invited us, and it was the first time he has us as a Muslim family in his, Seder Passover table. Mm-hmm. And Anas was singing. You remember Anas? You were singing what? In Rabbi Bert's house.
Oh.
What is it? You remember? So after you finish, you tell Rabbi Lederman. You remember the song?
I remember when I did it.
Okay. Die.
Oh.
You remember it? What was it? So he was singing with everyone, die, you know.
Yes.
By birth, in-laws were there. And so they were surprised, I mean, in this changing time. You know, you have 2-year-old son, Muslim, singing in the Passover, you know, dinner, you know, so it was a good experience, yeah.
It's funny you brought up Dayenu. I think also the interesting moment of COVID for us with the story of the Exodus is that the Exodus, although it was, it definitely was a moment of freedom from, and also a transition to freedom to, right? What does it mean to be free from slavery and to have freedom to worship one own God? It was also the beginning of a long wandering.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of, let's say, interpretations or theological discussions about, we've been here before, this wandering that we're in. We don't know when we're going to get where we need to get to. The only way we know how to do it is by marching together and walking, you know, one foot in front of the other every day. So in some ways, I'd say for Passover is a very observed holiday, even by non-observant Jews, but something feels more resonant in togetherness.
Great. Nina, it's good to see you and your parents there, I believe.
I'm here with my husband Noel and my father and my mother, and we're here in California.
Right.
Yes.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Nina.
You cannot hear me?
Now we can. Yeah. Very nice to see your husband, your parents there. Wonderful.
Yes, and yeah, we're here in California, and it's good to be here, and just reflecting on fasting and the tradition of fasting.
Right.
We're Catholic, and so we grew up observing Lent and fasting during Lent, particularly on Ash Wednesday and on the Fridays of Lent, but also thinking about it and reflecting on it throughout the season for 40 days. And so it's just wonderful to see the many ways, you know, our brothers and sisters of different traditions, you know, take part in this practice and what that means to us. And so thank you for letting us be a part of this conversation and this space with your family.
No, thank you so much for joining us, and you know, special thanks to your parents and husband for joining. It's really wonderful.
Mohammed?
To see you in person, yeah.
Mohammed?
Yes.
I'd like to introduce my daughter, Candace Corey, who lives next door to me, and she's right here. And really.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Very good. Nice to see you. I know your father for ages.
Yes, he talks very favorably of you.
We know each other at least, let's say, probably 2 decades now, Rich, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been. It's been a very productive 2 decades.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Well, wonderful. Nice to see you. Good.
Well, maybe I can jump in and share just a little about what we're like thinking about the question you posed, Mohammed, about how we're pivoting our work as shoulder to shoulder, you know, on top of sort of our individual lives and the ways in which we're observing our various holidays and observances. But through shoulder to shoulder, as Mohammed mentioned, we usually help uplift iftars happening across the country that are open to interfaith guests. And of course, we host one of our own, and we've coordinated a number of others as well. And this year, you know, sometime in mid-February, I think, was when we started to realize that just wasn't going to happen. And so what we're doing this year is pairing up households together in groups of either 2 or 3 to try to keep it small enough that they feel they can keep their noise on the whole time, like they don't have to mute themselves necessarily, but kind of have their households having dinner together. And I think, you know, like I'm looking at Mohammed's table, this idea of having the computer have a seat at your actual table. So the campaign's called Welcome to My Table, and we've had almost 50 households sign up so far that we've been pairing together. And
Oh, that's terrific, Kathryn.
yeah,
That's
it's
great.
exciting.
Oh,
We're
wow.
really excited to hear, and it's, you know, various people we know, and then people who are just hearing about this through various, I was going to say word of mouth, but I guess I mean like virtual word of mouth at this point, to participate in those various things. So we're excited to see what comes. We're experimenting, as everyone is, in what this looks like, but we're excited for that. And this is Josephine, for those who haven't had a chance. 7 months old now, and she's excited. This is her first iftar, and it's virtual. So
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, this is
there's a woman of so many firsts, Kathryn.
yeah, her first trip, her first plane trip was to Abu Dhabi. So
Yeah.
not bad.
Setting in various
We
ways.
got to meet her there.
What'd you say?
We got to meet Josephine at
Yeah, many of
Abu
you got to
Dhabi.
meet
Yeah.
her there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Many of
Yeah,
you
that was
helped watch her and soothe her to sleep and all sorts of things. So she's grateful, and so am I.
Well, this is the other Kathryn, and I want to chime in here because I really think that what's happening, including tonight, Mohamed and your family, we're so grateful for this generous invitation into your home. But I think it's exemplary because for as much as any of us can experience the dread of another Zoom call or another online webinar or meeting or what have you, there's also a lot happening that is so deeply fulfilling, and I mean that not only in the sense of how we do our work, but really spiritually as well. And I think that's because what we're experiencing in the midst of the pandemic is that creativity is also contagious. And so I want to thank all of you, and especially the Elsanousi family, for inviting us into your home and for sharing this time together that is so special and so sacred, but giving us not only a window into your lives, but into each other's lives. And that's how we can build some bridges together. In the tradition that I'm part of, which is Protestant Christianity, I'm part of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. Fasting is part of our tradition in various ways, but for us, and I think for other Protestants, it's all, and quite frankly, for all Christians, just to be clear about that, the fasting is tied not only to how we experience spirituality and our deeper connection with God and with each other, but also how we keep the bond to our commitments to justice and peace, so that when we fast, when we abstain from those things that give us joy or satisfaction or even nourishment, we are reminded that there are those who are without. And so I think that's a reminder for us even tonight that there are so many who are without, whether they're without food or without shelter or without safety or security, or maybe even the sense of being able to shelter at home. And so in the midst of this awesome company with you all, I simply think we should thank all of those who are providing the essential services that keep our daily lives afloat. And so if I might raise my glass of water to the essential workers and to all of those people who are a part of our communities.
Absolutely. I completely
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Mohamed, I just want to thank your children for teaching us tonight.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Tony, for joining us, and we pray for you and for the people in New York. I know that New York, it hits quite hard with this pandemic, so our prayers with the people in New York, in the state of New York. And I am so proud of the mayor of New York. He just probably heard announced that every night, because New York, a lot of Muslims in New York actually work in taxi drivers and other jobs. So he announced that he basically provide 500,000 meal every day for those who used to go to the mosque to break their fast, you know. So that's really something that I was very happy to hear that. Yeah.
I didn't hear that, so that's great to hear. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and as I told you all before, I'm so grateful to have met my neighbor who sold the dates to me tonight. And
Awesome.
I'm now going to know more and more about Yemen. And I think they also are lamenting that they can't go to the mosque tonight. And it's in New York, and I think that's a time of sadness, but it's also an amazing connection that is able to be made not only online, but also in those encounters that we have with folks who are making it possible for us to continue to live our lives with great fruitfulness.
Great.
You
No,
know,
really, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, one of the things that I learned early about Islam was the connection between Ramadan and redemption. And so that that hope is possible, that change is going to happen, and that we can be a part of that. And Ramadan is joyful about that reality, and I think that's terrific. So as we all stay sheltered in place here, we can think about the hopefulness that we have that things are going to get better.
Right. No, we're, as we say, as a believers, we stay optimistic, and we see what's going to happen, but we adapt to the situation to keep our work going, our communications, our connections, our relationship at this time, which is really quite very crucial. And we're also blessed, technology now facilitates so many things for us to carry on. I mean, it's also a big blessing that we need to also thank God for it. So we're really grateful tonight to have all of you joining us, and hopefully we will meet in person quite soon. And also want to really to take this opportunity as well to pray for all of you and to thank you and appreciate your service and also your commitment to shoulder, particularly our colleagues who are now, basically they're leading this work, particularly, Kathryn and Cassandra and Nina, you are doing the work. And on behalf of the executive committee, I know everybody will join me here. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your work. And if it is not really your dedication, we won't be, in this stage right now. So I want to thank you for that. And I see Margaret, you want to clap. I see Kathryn and Lohre, you want to clap. So let's do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, the work will continue. We don't know what's going to happen. We're facing so many things in the country today. Elections are coming up, and we don't know all this situation, the pandemic, what's going to do, and how people behaviors will change. We don't know that. So, but we stand ready with our commitment to our faith, and we just move on. So,
Amen.
Yeah.
Great.
You want dates? Okay. Okay, I'll give you more dates. So with that, maybe we could conclude. But we're open if there is more reflections coming. We would love to hear.
We'll leave you to enjoy your meal together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, dig in.
Thank you so much.
We're going to dig in very soon. But before that, we have in the closing, we have Anas and Jude. They wanted to close with the song.
Excellent.
So Anas start and loud and clear. Okay. All right, Jude. Come. You can leave the decoration later. Just come do the closing song. Okay, be next to you. Okay, go ahead.
How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov, umanayim shavatachim gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim shavatachim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Alaikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Alaikum.
Thank you so much.
Yay!
That's terrific. Absolutely fabulous.
Well, thank you so much. This is really wonderful to have you and to have all of these smiley faces in this tonight, in our iftar. So thank you so much and enjoy
Thank you.
and hopefully we will be in touch very soon.
Yes.
Thanks,
God bless
Mohammed.
you
Thanks,
all.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Good night.
Mubarak.
Bye.
Mubarak.